Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to announce the presence of the guest of honor, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Nangolo Bumba, and the delegation of the President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. May I therefore kindly have your attention? Thank you. May we please rise for the following anthems: the national anthem of the Republic of Namibia, the anthem of the African Union, and the anthem of the Southern African Development Community, in that order.
Okay.
May you please remain upstanding for the anthem of the African Union.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun Let us make Africa the tree of life. Sonnet, dawn of uncertainty. Sonnet, dawn of a better future, and of original and universal integration towards unity and harmony. Cradle of humanity, cradle of our ancestors. Let us praise with joy the realization of our hopes and raise the banner of solidarity. Dawn of uncertainty.
Thank you. You may be seated. Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Bumba, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker Esperanza Laurinda Francisco Nyuani Biash, President of SADC Parliamentary Forum and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique. Honorable Professor Peter Kashavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia and host to the SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretariat. Honorable Speakers of SADC National Parliaments and Heads of Delegations. Honorable Senator Isaac Memo Magagula, Vice President of SADC Parliamentary Forum. Honorable Anne-Marie Bilambangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Charumbira, Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament. Honorable Ali Fatuma Ibrahim, Member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable Martin Goga. Honorable Members of Parliament from SADC member parliaments. Your Excellency, Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, SADC Executive Secretary. Ms. Boemo Sekoma, Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Clerks and Secretaries General of SADC member parliaments. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps here present, distinguished invited guests and observers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. Welcome to this official opening ceremony of the 47th Plenary Assembly session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Please note that the ceremony will be conducted in 3 official languages of SADC Parliamentary Forum, namely English, French, and Portuguese. Delegates are advised to select their preferred language under the provision for interpretation. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, in order to kickstart the proceedings, please allow me to invite to the podium the Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Ms. Boemo Mandu Sekoma, to present the credentials of the delegates.
Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Bumba, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker, Esperanza Luarianda Francisco Nyuani Biash, President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum and the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique, The host speaker, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia, Honorable Speakers of SADC national parliaments and heads of delegations, Honorable Senator Isaac Memo Magagula, the Vice President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Ali Fatuma Ibrahim, Member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable Martin Ngoga, Honorable Members of Parliament from SADC member parliaments, Your Excellency, Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tex, the Secretary, Executive Secretary of SADC, clerks and Secretaries General of SADC member parliaments, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners and members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished invited guests and members from the United Nations family, civil society organizations and development partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on the protocol that has already been established accordingly. I'm exceedingly humbled and deeply honored to introduce delegates to this August virtual 47th Plenary Assembly session of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum. Our guest of honor, distinguished delegates, as you are aware, this Plenary Assembly session is the ultimate policy-making body of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. It is through the Plenary Assembly's resolution that the Forum strives towards its vision as the flag bearer of democratization and socio-economic development in the SADC region. Our guest of honor, distinguished delegates, it is through informed and balanced interventions at the level of this August Assembly that the Forum extends its mandate to make Southern Africa achieve democratic governance and parliamentary excellence. In this vein, the Forum also continues to forge durable operational linkages with the SADC Secretariat and inter-parliamentary systems across Africa and beyond. Director of Ceremonies, allow me now to inform the guest of honor and distinguished delegates that this 47th Plenary Assembly session has drawn delegates from the following countries. I wish to request the delegations to kindly keep your cameras on for the benefit of our guest of honor as I mention your country. The National Assembly of Angola, a delegation of 6 members led by Honorable Josefina Pitra Diakite, Member of Parliament. You are welcome. The Parliament of Botswana, a delegation of 2 members led by Honorable Dumelan Saleshando, a Member of Parliament and leader of the opposition. Thank you, you're welcome. The National Assembly of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a delegation of 5 led by the Honorable Speaker Giannine Mabunda, Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. You're welcome. The Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini, a delegation of 6 members led by Honorable Petros Mavimbela, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. The Parliament of the Kingdom of Lesotho, a delegation of 5 members, led by the Right Honorable Sipiri Mutanyani, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. The National Assembly of Malawi, a delegation of 6 members, led by the Right Honorable Catherine Botani Hara, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. The National Assembly of Madagascar, led by the Honorable Lovarina Celestine Fiarovana, a delegation of 7 members. Thank you. The National Assembly of Mauritius, a delegation of 4 members, led by Honorable Mohamed Nazurali, Member of Parliament and the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. The National Assembly, thank you. The National Assembly of Mozambique, our presidency, a delegation of 4 members, led by Honorable Esperanza Lorianda Francisco Nguyen Bayash, Speaker of the National Assembly and the President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. The National Assembly of, thank you. The National Assembly of Namibia, represented by the Honorable Professor Peter H. Kachavivi, the Speaker of the National Assembly and host of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Thank you. The Parliament of the Republic of South Africa, a delegation of 5 members, led by the Honorable Thandi Modise, Speaker of the Parliament. Thank you. The National Assembly of Zambia, a delegation of 5 members, led by the Right Honorable Justice Dr. Patrick Matibini, State Counsel, Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia. Thank you. The Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe, a delegation of 6 members, led by Honorable Advocate Jacob Francis Mudenda, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you. Last but not least, all the staff from SADC Parliamentary Forum and national parliaments, you are welcome. Your guest of honor, Your Excellency, in total, we have 11 parliaments attending this plenary assembly session, of which 7 delegations are led by honorable speakers of parliament. 1 delegation is led by a deputy speaker, while 3 delegations are headed by members of parliament. Your Excellency, Honorable Vice President, as we thrive towards promoting gender equality at the parliamentary level, it is worth noting that 5 of the 13 delegations are led by women, representing about 38% in the leadership of delegations. This is below the required 50% benchmark that we aspire to achieve in line with the Gender and Development Protocol, but still demonstrate progress made in the right direction. Invited guest, Director of Ceremonies, allow me to state that the SADC Parliamentary Forum has also invited observers to this plenary assembly, and allow me to introduce only a few. Her Excellency, Dr. Stagomena L. Tex, the SADC Secretariat, the Executive Secretary, Honorable Fatuma from Uganda, representing the Speaker of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Churumbira, representing the Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Ali Fatuma Ibrahim, Member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable Martin Ngoga. Thank you. Director of Ceremonies, Your Excellencies and distinguished delegates, may I conclude my statement by thanking the government and the Parliament of the Republic of Namibia through the Honorable Professor Peter H. Kashavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, for graciously facilitating the hosting of the SADC Parliamentary Forum 47th Plenary Assembly session. Through this virtual session, as we momentarily escape the realities of COVID-19, I would like to conclude by wishing all delegates a fruitful deliberation. I thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary General. Before we proceed with the rest of the program, Your Excellency, honorable delegates, please allow me to request that we observe a minute of silence for our brothers and sisters who succumbed to COVID-19. Thank you. Thank you. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Next on the program is an address on matters of regional interest and collaboration with the SADC Parliamentary Forum to be delivered by Her Excellency Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, Executive Secretary of the SADC Secretariat. Dr. Tax, you have the podium. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Bumba, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, and our gracious host, a guest of honor, Honorable Esperanza Raulinda Francisco Nyaumi Bashi, Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique, and the President of SADC Parliamentary Forum, host speaker, Honorable Professor Peter Kashavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia, Honorable Speakers of SADC National Parliaments and the heads of delegation, Honorable Senator Isaac Memo Magagula, Vice President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Anne-Marie Bilambagu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Charumbira, Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Al Fatuma Ibrahim, Member of the East African Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, my dear sister, Madam Baemo Segoka, the Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the media, invited observers, a very good morning. I'm greatly honored to deliver some remarks during this official opening of the Forum of 47th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Allow me to begin by thanking Madam Boemo Sekoma, the Secretary General of SADC Parliamentary Forum, for inviting me to this session of the 47th Plenary Assembly. Thank you very much indeed, it's a great honor. This session is conducted virtually as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has brought a number of challenges to our way of conducting business. While COVID-19 has had adverse socioeconomic impacts on SADC economies, It has also enabled us to be innovative and move forward as a united region. The fact that this assembly has been able to conduct its business virtually demonstrates that as a region, we cannot fail on our determination to push forward our development and integration agenda and our vision of a common future that ensures improved standard of living and the quality of life of SADC citizens. You may recall that during the interim plenary assembly of the parliamentary forum held in January 1997, the then President of the United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Benjamin Mkapa, may his dear soul rest in peace, welcomed the creation of the forum and emphasized that together we can make SADC a more effective, capable, and relevant to ordinary citizens in the region. He further called upon you, honorable SADC parliamentarians, to help develop and nurture a common vision and a common regional perspective of our larger and the wider regional interests. End of quote. I'm confident that we are drawing closer to the common vision as a region. In this regard, allow me to commend SADC member states in relation to COVID-19, allow me to commend SADC member states for the rigorous measures that have been put in place to contain the spread of COVID-19 and mitigate its socio-economic impacts. Without such measures, the situation would have been dire. Our regional response to COVID-19 has further shown the importance of moving together as a united region. I'm very confident that we will remain united at all times in our quest for deeper regional integration. Guests on honor and honorable ministers, this year marks 40 years of the existence of our regional organization since the establishment of the Southern African Development Coordination Conference, SADC with double C, in April 1980. We have traveled a long journey with huge milestones and achievements. We are currently, as the SADC Secretariat, in the process of documenting our history and achievements, which will culminate in a SADC at 40 publication that is expected to be launched during the next summit of heads of state and government, envisaged to take place in March 2021 in Mozambique, and it will be accompanied by a number of commemorative events. Given the slot have been given to focus on SADC, allow me to mention a few milestones since 1980, just a few, which are as follows. Number one, the formation of the Southern Africa Development Coordination Conference, SADC with double C, in April 1980. Independence of the Zimbabwe, what is that? The independence of Zimbabwe at the same time cemented the solidarity of the countries of the region, which together waged a struggle against colonial rule in Zimbabwe and the apartheid in Namibia and South Africa. This solidarity led to the independence of Namibia in 1990 and the end of apartheid in South Africa in 1994. This cannot be underestimated. It's indeed a big milestone to our region. Number two, the transformation of SADC with double C to the Southern Africa Development Community in August. We witnessed that in August 1992, and that was in Windhoek, Namibia, when the SADC Treaty was adopted. The focus since then of the region organization shifted to include economic integration, especially as most of our countries had attained independence from colonial rule. And I'll mention a few since then in terms of economic integration as we proceed. Number three, the membership of our regional organization has grown from 8 countries in 1980 to the current 16 member states. This has an implication on a number of socio-economic fronts. When you're many, you can, the economies of scale, the benefits of economies of scales, they also increase. But also when you fight any challenge, including in peace and security areas, you bring together a number of people and you enhance your strength. Number 4, the launch of SADC Free Trade Area in 2008, that has established an integrated market of 16 now SADC member states with a combined gross product, domestic product GDP of $720 billion and a combined population of 340 million. This is not a small market at all. What we need to do is just to understand that we have a big market, to make it effective by ensuring that we are increasing our productive capacities and we can equitably trade and benefit from the benefits which comes up with together with this extended market. Number 5, the establishment of Southern African Power Pool Coordination Center in 1995 that has provided a platform for power utilities in the region to share electricity load and share electricity in some countries. Electricity is still a big challenge. And when we talk of industrialization, you cannot industrialize if you don't have a reliable supply of power. So this is, yes, we are getting there. We are still trying to increase our power supply. But the good thing is that we can share among ourselves. So that is the benefit of regional integration, and that is indeed a milestone. Number 6, the establishment of one-stop border posts that have facilitated efficiency in movement of persons and goods across borders. The first one-stop border post was established in 2009 at Chirundu border post between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Since then, Tanzania and Zambia established one at Nakonde, Tunduma, while the Kazungura border post between Botswana and Zambia is under construction. Number 7, the adoption of the SADC Regional Infrastructure Development Master Plan in 2012, which has facilitated the implementation of a number of cross-border infrastructure programs. Number 8, front-loading of industrialization in 2014, which has enabled the region to put in place measures to implement a number of programs aimed at addressing the supply side constraints and also reducing the cost of doing business. You can have a free market, you can have a free trade area, but if you cannot trade, you cannot supply, then the benefits of the free trade area cannot be utilized. The resultant of the SADC Industrialization Strategy and Roadmap 2015-2063 was approved in April 2015. In implementing the strategy, a number of value chains are being developed and implemented and have contributed and are contributing towards job and wealth creation. And that is the aspiration of our region, to enhance the standard of living of our people. 9, and last, adoption. The region has adopted about 33 protocols and the various policies and strategies in a number of sectors, including for gender mainstreaming, as well as youth and women economic empowerment. As my sister indicated, that economic empowerment, gender mainstreaming remains one of our priorities, but now we recognize that we also need to make sure that the youth are also empowered and they benefit from the youth dividend. Guests of honor and honorable ministers, the achievements are many. The ones that I have mentioned above are just some of them. As SADC has evolved over the years, so has the priorities of the region that have also expanded, both in scope and coverage. The adoption in August 2020 of the Vision 2050 and the SADC Region Indicative Strategic Development Plan in 2020-2030 present another opportunity for the SADC Secretariat and the SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretariat to strengthen our long-lasting cooperation, specifically in priority areas as articulated in these two strategic blueprints. The RESDIP 2020-2030 identifies 6 strategic priority areas, which with peace and security and good governance, laying the foundation for deepening regional development and integration. There are 3 interrelated pillars, namely industrial development and market integration, infrastructure development and support of regional integration, and social and human capital development. These pillars are interlinked with gender, youth environment and climate change, and disaster risk management as cross-cutting issues. As you can see, these areas are also priorities of the region as a whole, but also all the institutions, including the Parliamentary Forum, and maybe in a few days to come, the Parliament. And these are the areas which we should continue working together in partnership. In addition to the achievements that have been realized since 1980, as we move forward, it is encouraging to note that the work of the transformation of the SADC Parliamentary Forum into SADC Parliament is at an advanced stage. In line with the August 2019 decision of SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Allow me to commend the experts from both secretariats, the SADC Secretariat and the SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretariat, for the excellent work done to this stage. It is anticipated that this work will soon be finalized in line with the agreed roadmap, and the proposals will be submitted to Summit in March 2021. Guest of honor, honorable ministers, as I conclude, allow me to extend our gratitude to our guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Nangolo Bumba, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, for gracing this official opening of the 47th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. May I also thank you, honorable members of SADC Parliamentary Forum, for your continued support to SADC regional integration agenda. It will be remiss of my part if I fail to thank my sister, Madam Boemo Sekoma, the Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, for our strong, sisterly, and rewarding cooperation. I wish you, honorable members, fruitful deliberation during the 47th Plenary Assembly. And with these few remarks, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, muito obrigado. Galeboa, asanteni sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Tax. Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, kindly remain in your seats for this very brief but important video that showcases the major milestones that SADC has achieved over the years. It confirms the presentation that Dr. Tax just made for us. Thank you. The video, please.
In April 1980, in Lusaka, Zambia, our founders came together and formed the Southern African Development Coordination Conference, which later, in August 1992, in Windhoek, Namibia, transformed into the Southern African Development Community, SADC, following the signing of the SADC Declaration and Treaty. Through SADC, our founders envisioned a region that would collectively advance the cause of national political liberation, paving the way for economic integration in Southern Africa. True to the dreams and aspirations of our founders, SADC has made significant strides towards development, peace and security, and economic growth through regional integration and cooperation. Over the years, the membership of SADC has increased from 9 in 1992 to the current 16 member states, bringing a unique diversity of states in mainland Southern Africa and the Indian Ocean. The increased membership has not only demonstrated the willingness of member states to cooperate in addressing issues of importance to the region, but has expanded SADC's footprint on the African continent while creating a larger market for goods and services within a population of 340 million and a combined GDP of $720 billion. Since its establishment, SADC has consistently shown unwavering solidarity and unity against the many challenges the region faces. The SADC region was at the forefront of the global campaign to end apartheid in South Africa, which led to the independence of Namibia in 1990 and the collapse of the apartheid system in South Africa in 1994. Today, SADC is a stable and peaceful region with an expansive market, a youthful population, and a conducive environment for investment. SADC's solidarity and commitment to deeper regional integration has been demonstrated by the signing of a total of 33 protocols covering a wide range of sectors including agriculture, food security and natural resources, infrastructure, industrial development, trade, investment and finance, social and human development, peace and security. Added to these protocols are instruments and policies which include the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan, Strategic Indicative Plan for the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, SADC Industrialization Strategy and Roadmap 2015 to 2063, SADC Regional Agricultural Policy, and SADC Regional Infrastructure Development Master Plan. Together, these protocols and instruments have laid a strong legal and policy framework for promoting regional cooperation and integration in various sectors. Over the years, SADC has continued to improve facilitation of movement of persons as well as goods and services across the region. The removal of visa requirements for most SADC member states allows SADC citizens to freely travel to any SADC country. With the SADC-recognized driver's license, SADC citizens can drive to any SADC country without having to acquire another driver's license. The one-stop border posts which are being established along some of the transport corridors within the region, together with the harmonized road transport regulations, have all eased movement of people, goods, and services, thereby saving time and reducing transport costs for travelers. At the same time, SADC member states have become more and more interconnected through regional rail and road infrastructure, making it easier for business operators to transport goods across borders. In addition, the SADC Real-Time Gross Settlement, RTGS, a regional cross-border multi-currency payment system, is helping to ease cross-border payment and in the process, promoting intra and inter-regional trade. SADC has over the past years front-loaded industrialization in the regional economic integration agenda. And through the implementation of the SADC Industrialization Strategy and Roadmap 2015 to 2063, numerous opportunities are opening through the promotion of value chains. The SADC Industrialization Agenda is motivating the region to diversify regional economies, develop productive capacity, create employment, and build a more sustainable growth path for the region. By utilizing the vast agricultural and mineral resources of the region, adding value to the products will go a long way in realizing the full potential of the region's abundant natural resources. To support the SADC industrialization drive and enhance regional integration through energy infrastructure development, the region continues to cooperate to increase energy production and distribution. In this regard, the region has established the Southern African Power Pool, which has continued to connect member states to the regional power grid, thus providing an interconnected electrical system in the region, resulting in increased power supply and its accessibility to industries and rural communities. In terms of gender and women empowerment, the establishment of several institutional frameworks, including the SADC Protocol on Gender and Development, has contributed to increased number of women in decision-making positions and several interventions to address gender-based violence. In addition, more girls are now attending school and graduating from universities and colleges, thereby reducing their economic vulnerability and paving the way for women and girls to realize their full potential. About 70% of the population of the SADC region depends on agriculture for food, income, and employment. To avoid the region's cherished plants going into extinction, the SADC Plant Genetic Resources Center in Lusaka, Zambia, has continued to preserve hundreds of plant genetic resources as a means to improve agricultural production and ensure food and nutrition security for the region in the years ahead. SADC continues to cooperate in preserving shared resources such as water and other natural resources through river basin organizations and trans-frontier conservation areas across the region. The conservation of the region's abundant natural resources and wildlife has made the SADC region one of the most preferred tourist destinations in Africa and the world. In the process, the tourism sector has generated billions of dollars and created thousands of jobs, making tourism a vehicle for socio-economic development. Through the work of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, internal conflicts have been resolved, the region has witnessed smooth and democratic transfers of power, and a substantial progress has been made in the fight against transnational organized crimes, armed groups, and other security threats. All these efforts have made the SADC region one of the most peaceful and stable regions in the world. In the years ahead, SADC will continue to build on the successes made so far. Guided by the SADC Vision 2050, SADC envisions a peaceful, inclusive, middle to high income industrialized region where all citizens enjoy sustainable economic well-being, justice, and freedom. One region, 16 nations, working towards a common future. Together, we are strong.
Next on our program is statements of solidarity by the continental and regional parliaments. Unfortunately, the Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Charumbira, is unable to join us this morning. In this regard, please allow me to invite to the podium Honorable Ali Fatuma Ibrahim, member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, representing the Speaker, Honorable Martin Ngoga. Honorable Ibrahim.
Thank you. I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, we are.
Thank you. Thank you. I first want to thank everyone. And I want to introduce myself. My name is Fatuma Ibrahim Ali, a member of East African Legislative Assembly and representing Kenya in that East Africa Community Legislative Assembly. I'm representing the Speaker of East Africa Legislative Assembly, Honorable Speaker Martin Ngoga, and I want to read his solidarity statement to this gathering of SADC Parliamentary Forum. Thank you, and I want to start reading. Message of solidarity by Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ngoga Karoli Martin, Speaker of IALA, at this commencement of the 47th SADC Parliamentary Forum, Plenary Assembly session. Honorable Chair, I want to first thank the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Nangalo. I hope I pronounced his name well. The Vice President of the Republic of Namibia as the guest of honor of this session. Your Excellency, Dr. Nangalo, Member, Mumbai, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, the whole members of SADC Parliamentary Forum, and other invited parliaments and guests, ministers, senior officials of the government of Mozambique present, the Secretary General of SADC Parliamentary Forum. I wish to convey to you all warm greetings from the Speaker of East Africa Legislative Assembly, IALA, Right Honorable Ngoga Karoli Martin, who regrettably is unable to join you at this occasion due to other exigencies. And I want to confirm here that the Speaker, Honorable Speaker, lost his mother recently, and he has been engaged in the exercise of sending off his dear mother. He has therefore duly requested me to represent him here, which I find it is a noble exercise to join the SADC Parliamentary Plenary to be part of this August activities. I'm pleased, humbled, and honored to deliver this solidarity message at the commencement of the 47th plenary of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. I take the singular opportunity to congratulate and to thank His Excellency Felipe Nyusi, President of the Republic of Mozambique, and the current chair of SADC for able leadership, and to wish him the very best in all endeavor to take the Republic of Mozambique and SADC region to higher heights. I thank the President of SADC Parliamentary Forum for inviting East African Legislative Assembly to this important sitting, albeit through virtual session as a result of the COVID pandemic. Distinguished honorable guests who are here, this meeting takes place against a background of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has ravaged the globe, and drastically changed the way of doing things. Medical experts and health analysts have expressed that COVID-19 pandemic will not go away immediately, and its effects are expected to be felt for some time to come. It's with us. While COVID-19 is a health issue, it has varied socio-economic impact on society and humanity. It is indeed the time for the regional parliaments to show leadership as we begin to adapt life through the lens of the new normal and on ways of coping with the pandemic. The thematic area at the 47th Plenary Assembly, which is the role of parliaments in the strengthening accountability during a pandemic, the case of COVID could not therefore have come at a better time. And I appreciate the SADC Parliamentary Forum in finding this theme very crucial at this time of COVID pandemic, when the leadership of parliamentarians is needed. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic in the African continent has been grave, given that we have lost some lives, perhaps though not in equal measure with other continents. However, we can ill afford to sit on our achievements and watch COVID-19 pandemic wreak havoc. As a matter of fact, losing even a single life to COVID-19 or other pandemics is far too expensive for the continent. Life is precious. Governments in the continent have made efforts to reverse the trend, and in doing so, sought the collaboration and partnerships with the other players. All concerted effort is needed to reverse the tide. Evidently, Africa requires strong institutions at this point in time, and in the future to steer her to the much cherished unity and prosperity of a united continent. Allow me, therefore, to congratulate SADC Parliamentary Forum for picking and identify the relevant theme of this point in time. I'm sure this meeting will avail us an opportunity to share various experiences and best practices, and to see what we as legislators and parliaments can do to concretize the war on COVID-19. That aside, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this juncture to congratulate SADC Parliamentary Forum for the strong case it is putting forward towards its transformation into a SADC regional parliament, which I can confirm that we had shared our experience with the delegation which came to Arusha on ways of establishing a SADC regional parliament, similar to East Africa Legislative Assembly type. We joined SADC Parliamentary Forum in calling upon the member states to support this crucial and long overdue transformation. Out of experience at IALA, legislative powers remains a great thing if well harnessed. IALA stands with you fully on this and will always avail herself should you need any support in pursuing the transformation of SADC Parliamentary Forum to a regional assembly or parliament. Distinguished guests, IALA fully associates itself with the SADC Parliamentary Forum towards looking into all aspects relating to establishment of a strong regional parliament. Further, we believe that together we can transform regional economic communities into one united African bloc in the near future for the common good of all people of Africa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm further pleased that many countries in the continent are committed to promote coordination and harmonization of policies to fast-track establishment of the African continent free trade agreement, which aims to deepen continental integration. Primarily, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement will go a long way towards boosting intra-African trade and its industrial content. Essentially, the continent must, as a necessity, remove all non-tariff barriers on goods and related services to smoothen the mega regional trade agreement, promote development, and spur industrialization. Deputy Chair, non-tariff barriers limit growth and smooth development of regions. As parliaments, we are the representatives and therefore the voice of the people, and with a central responsibility to enact legislation, representation, pass budgets, and hold our governments to account. I therefore encourage member states' parliament and SADC Parliamentary Forum to rise to the occasion and to ensure all commitments of the partner states to the objective of the SADC are fully realized. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to assure you and your Parliament of East Africa Legislative Assembly's readiness and commitment to work with you in partnership as we strive to achieve both regional and continental integration. Finally, I wish you fruitful deliberations during the entire period. Long life SADC, long life East Africa Community, long life African Union, and long life the African people. I thank all of you for your kind, constant attention. This is the end of the Honorable Speaker of East Africa Legislative Assembly of his solidarity statement. But I want to wish you all on behalf of the legislators of East Africa Legislative Assembly, all the best in this deliberation. Particularly, I wish to acknowledge the wiseness of the SADC Parliamentary Forum in terms of identifying this theme of the role of Parliament in strengthening accountability during a pandemic. I think people got a bit of shock, and most parliaments sat back, and they were not prepared to undertake accountability as legislators during this period of pandemic. I wish also to appreciate SADC Parliamentary Forum in recognizing the role of women in their institutional setup, and I was impressed when the Secretary General was acknowledging the efforts of women caucus in this SADC Parliamentary Forum. Thank you on behalf of the Speaker and on my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ibrahim. Indeed, women play a very important role at the SADC Parliamentary Forum. And next on our program is a statement by the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus to be delivered by the chairperson, Honorable Anne-Marie Bilambangu. Honorable Bilambangu, you have the floor. Honorable Bilambangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus. As we wait for Honorable Bilambangu, we will have an interlude.
Male Gemsbok horns are perfectly straight. Females have a slight rearward curve. At around 10 years of age, the male giraffe spots darken as he matures into a bull. Apart from acting as a camouflage, each color patch on a giraffe's skin acts as a thermal window to release body heat. Wildebeest live as a herd. They protect their young as a group and at night take turns to sleep. Warthogs take mud baths both to cool down and keep bugs off their skin. A zebra's stripes are as distinct as tumors in humans and make it hard for predators to pick one out to chase. A baby elephant learns to use its trunk by copying adults. They need to drink water every day and stay close to their mothers for the first couple of months. The best time to dive at Lake Ochikoto is outside the rainy season, when the visibility reaches 15 meters on a good day. Apart from being the only underwater war museum in the world, the lake is inhabited by the rare species of mouth-breathing fish, the Ochikoto tilapia, believed to originate from Lake Guinas. Lake and cave diving in this
Thank you. Honorable Mbila Mbangu, Chairperson of the Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, you now have the floor.
Merci pour la parole. Honorable Dr Angola Bumba, vous m'entendez? Honorable Dr.
Oui.
Honorable Dr Ngangolo Mbumba, vice-président de la République de Namibie, notre invité d'honneur. Honorable présidente, Madame Espérance, présidente du Forum parlementaire de l'Assemblée nationale de Mozambique. Honorable professeur Peter Kachaviki, président de l'Assemblée nationale de la République de Namibie, hôte de la séance virtuelle de la 47e Assemblée plénière, Forum parlementaire de SADC. Et chef de l'État. Secrétaire exécutif de la SADC, Laurence et Tax. Madame Boemo Segoma, générale du Forum parlementaire. Vice-président du Parlement panafricain. Honorable Martin Bumba, logiste de l'Assemblée législative et à l'Archive. Honorable Saïd Mohamed Tunis, président du Parlement de la CEDEAO. Honorable vice-président du Forum parlementaire de SADC. Honorable membre du Caucus régional des femmes parlementaires. Membre du Forum parlementaire de la distingués délégués, mesdames, de m'adresser à cette audience pour la présidente du Caucus régional des femmes parlementaires en juillet 2020. Je transmets les salutations du maternel parlementaire. Nous sommes dans une activité physique. J'espère que vous pouvez ressentir la chaleur de mon enceinte virtuelle. Invité d'honneur 2020. On aurait dû jamais que nous poursuivons réaliser les actions entre les faits. la fête. Promettant un peu, même en effort, c'est durement acquis. Et nous avons engagé afin de faire respecter le droit des femmes les dernières décennies. La pandémie de Covid-19 a révélé à quel point notre société est tributaire des femmes. Elles sont en première ligne ou au foyer, mais elle a aussi mis en évidence les inégalités structurelles qui prévalent dans tous les secteurs, de la santé à la production sociale, en passant par l'économie, à la politique et à la sécurité. Les femmes représentent la plupart des personnes qui travaillent dans le secteur informel, et à la mesure où épargne en occupant des emplois qui sont moins sûrs, sont davantage susceptibles d'être les premiers à voir baisser les revenus, la pandémie de Covid-19. Le nombre total d'élèves et d'étudiants inscrits dans les institutions éducatives à l'échelle mondiale, plus de 89% ne vont pas à la COVID-19. Il y a 58 millions environ 43 millions de filles. Ces filles de moins avancées dans le monde, où le fait de bénéficier d'une éducation représente invité d'honneur et distingué délégué. La distanciation sociale et les restrictions liées à la COVID-19 ont conduit à l'usage des technologies numériques. Nous pouvons constater que la plupart des femmes ont accès limité à ces technologies, en partie à cause de l'insuffisance des infrastructures en matière de technologie de l'information et de la communication, TIC en sigle, notamment dans les zones rurales. En outre, la COVID-19 a créé un climat qui aggrave les violences fondées sur le genre exercées contre les femmes et les filles. Parmi les facteurs qui contribuent à perpétuer les violences fondées sur le genre figurent les restrictions au déplacement qui entraînent un accès limité aux services de santé et à d'autres prestations, la baisse au niveau de vie, les difficultés économiques et la marginalisation, l'accès inégal aux biens, aux ressources et aux services qui assurent la sécurité des moyens de subsistance, les disparités dans l'éducation et les qualifications, les manques d'emploi décents, les dividendes démographiques inexploités et les risques engendrés par l'Internet et le cyberespace. Invité d'honneur et distingué délégué, permettez-moi de saluer les progrès accomplis par le Forum parlementaire SADC sur la voie de l'élaboration de la loi type de la SADC relative aux violences fondées sur le genre. Je n'ai aucun doute que cette loi type contribuera grandement à combler les lacunes juridiques et politiques qui existent au sein de nos États membres. Au moment où nous nous penchons sur le thème de cette assemblée plénière, nous devrions réaffirmer la nécessité d'aller au-delà de l'action visant à remédier aux inégalités persistantes auxquelles les femmes sont confrontées et nous concentrer également sur le fait de construire des communautés résilientes, attentives aux difficultés auxquelles font face les femmes et les filles. Par exemple, à mesure que les écoles réouvrent graduellement, nous devons veiller à ce que nos gouvernements dotent les écoles des capacités pour qu'elles puissent prévenir et contrôler la propagation de la COVID-19. Nous devrions aussi privilégier des interventions tenant compte de l'âge et du sexe qui soient de nature à refléter, en y apportant des réponses adaptées, la réalité vécue par les filles, les enfants en situation de handicap et d'autres enfants marginalisés dans nos écoles. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, en réagissant face à la crise sanitaire, nous devons veiller à ce que tous les habitants de la région, en particulier les femmes et les filles, jouissent des droits à la santé sexuelle et reproductive et aient accès à des services, à une éducation et à des informations qui garantissent les droits égaux à tous, conformément aux divers instruments régionaux et internationaux. À cet égard, je souhaite féliciter les forums parlementaires de la SADC et les parlements nationaux pour le travail remarquable qu'ils accomplissent dans nos États membres en plaidant pour l'accès de tous, sans discrimination, à des services complets en matière de santé sexuelle et reproductive et en privilégiant la santé et les droits des femmes, des filles et d'autres groupes vulnérables par le biais du programme relatif à la santé et aux droits sexuels et reproductifs. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, nous devons rester vigilants pour nous assumer qu'il n'y ait pas de recul eu égard au protocole de la SADC sur le genre et le développement, notamment dans les États membres qui tiennent des élections générales cette année, à l'instar de la République unie de Tanzanie. Nous devons continuer à exercer des pressions en faveur de l'égalité entre les sexes au sein des parlements et d'autres institutions décisionnelles. Invités d'honneur et distingués délégués, permettez-moi pour conclure de souligner qu'en cette période où les parlements nationaux et les collègues députés adaptent la nouvelle normalité à des contextes spécifiques, il est important que notre réponse tienne compte du genre. Nous devons prendre en considération les défis auxquels les femmes et les filles sont confrontées quotidiennement en raison de la COVID-19 et travailler en vue d'atténuer ces problèmes. Nous devons veiller à ce que les femmes bénéficient d'une représentation égale lors de toutes les réflexions préparatoires et des prises de décision relatives aux réponses à apporter à la COVID-19. Nous devons aussi délibérément cibler les femmes et les filles en lien avec tous les efforts que nous déployons pour atténuer l'impact socio-économique de la COVID-19. Pour sa part, le caucus régional des femmes parlementaires s'engage à continuer à lutter pour donner un plus large écho aux problèmes qui affectent les femmes et les filles conformément à son mandat. Je vous remercie.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
We will now have a short interlude video.
The region is becoming a popular activity. A fun and informative way to experience Tsumeb's history is to take a tractor tour with a friendly local guide. animal viewing in Etosha or a visit out to the very surreal salt pan is best experienced on a game drive vehicle. The vast open and flat expanses of this unique pan makes for memorable photographic moments. And one of the best places to view the iconic African sunset. Night game viewing at waterholes is a must to experience the majestic animal kingdom up close and personal. The crocodile have the strongest bite of all animals in the world and can stay 2 to 3 hours underwater. The Kavango crocodile has a bad reputation along the river. Hippos are regarded as one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Although they might look a little chubby, they can easily outrun a human. The Mahango Game Reserve covers 244 square kilometers and is characterized by riverine forests, grasses, and wetlands. African elephants are the largest land mammals on the planet and undergo the longest gestation period of 22 months. The wild and undeveloped Kaudum Game Park was established with conservation in mind rather than financial revenue. This unique park is unfenced, enabling animals to follow their natural migration routes. The Buffalo Core area between Mahango and Bwabwata National Park hosts well over 1,000 buffaloes in these wetlands, among other animals. The giraffe is the tallest of all animals. It gets its great height not only from its legs, which are around 2 meters long, but also from its neck, which is even longer. The ostrich is the largest living bird species and lays the largest egg of all birds. Well adapted to dry conditions, they can go for long periods without water. Oryx herds number anywhere between 5 and 40 animals. Also known as the gemsbok, it gets enough moisture from its food and therefore does not need to drink that much water. In its effort to conserve moisture, its body temperature can rise to levels that would kill most other animals and can tolerate arid areas which are uninhabitable to most other antelope. The oryx is Namibia's national animal and appears on our coat of arms. The plain zebra is highly social and forms small family groups called harems. Harems consist of a single stallion, several mares, and their recent offspring. The common eland live up to 25 years and weighs up to 1,000 kilograms. African elephants can weigh between 4,000 and 7,000 kilograms. They'd eat between 150 and 170 kilograms of vegetation daily. The wild desert-adapted elephants tend to stay near ephemeral rivers, where there's a great availability of food. It is at home in the most unusual, rocky and arid desert conditions. A tortoise lifetime is comparable to that of a human being. Some have been known to live for longer than 150 years. The Cape Cross Seal Reserve is home to the largest breeding colony of Cape fur seals in the world. They fight, mate, reproduce, and fish here in this cacophony of bleats and barks that fills the air.
Thank you very much for that very interesting video. I now have the honor to invite to the podium Her Excellency, the President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique, Honorable Speaker Esperança Laurinda Francisco Nyuani Biash. Honorable Speaker.
Sua Excelência, Dr. Angolan Bumba, Vice-Presidente da República da Namíbia, nosso convidado de honra. Sua Excelência, Senador Isaac Memo Magagula, Vice-Presidente do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC. Sua Excelência, Professor Peter Kadjaviv, Presidente da Assembleia Nacional da Namíbia, nosso anfitrião. Suas Excelências, Presidentes e Chefes das Delegações dos Parlamentos Nacionais da SADC. Sua Excelência Fatuma Ibrahim, membro da Assembleia Legislativa da África Oriental, representante de Sua Excelência o Presidente Martin Guga. Sua Excelência Anne-Marie Bilambango, Presidente do Grupo Regional das Mulheres Parlamentares do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC. Suas Excelências Deputados dos Parlamentos Nacionais da SADC, Excelentíssima Senhora Buemo Sete Gomes, Secretária-Geral do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC, Excelentíssima Doutora Seter Gomene Lawrence, Secretária Executiva da SADC, Excelentíssimos Senhores Secretários-Gerais dos Parlamentos da SADC, digníssimos membros do corpo diplomático, senhores membros dos mídias, senhores representantes das organizações da sociedade civil, minhas senhoras e meus senhores. Permitam-me que, em nome dos deputados do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC, dê boas-vindas à Sua Excelência Dr. Angolan Bumba, Vice-Presidente da República da Namíbia, e endereço uma palavra de apreço por nos ter prestigiado com a sua presença nesta 47ª sessão da Assembleia Plenária do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC. Este gesto de carinho revela o comprometimento da Namíbia com a causa do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC. Sinto-me igualmente honrada em endereçar as minhas calorosas saudações às Suas Excelências, Presidentes dos Parlamentos Nacionais, deputados e demais convidados que nos prestigiam com a sua presença nesta magna Assembleia Plenária. Esta Assembleia Plenária decorre sob o lema "O papel dos parlamentos no reforço da responsabilidade durante uma pandemia, o caso da Covid-19", demonstrativo da nossa vontade e determinação como representantes dos povos da região em contribuir com soluções eficazes e coordenadas para o sucesso do nosso combate à Covid-19 na região. O Fórum está empenhado em viabilizar a cooperação regional e capacitar a região da SADC face aos inúmeros desafios de cada momento, como é o caso da pandemia da Covid-19. Neste contexto, gostaríamos de destacar a proposta do Regulamento Especial do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC para reuniões em caso de força maior, a ser apreciado e adotado por esta Assembleia Plenária. Nesta 47ª sessão da Assembleia Plenária, dadas as circunstâncias em que nos reunimos, iremos discutir apenas questões administrativas e normativas, em vez dos habituais tópicos normalmente discutidos a nível do plenário. Iremos, igualmente, passar em revista os aspectos mais candentes da nossa cooperação interparlamentar e deliberar sobre ações que possam contribuir para o reforço da integração regional em prol do bem-estar dos nossos povos. A realização desta augusta Assembleia Plenária constitui igualmente uma excelente ocasião para promover a visão do Fórum cristalizada no nosso plano estratégico, que é de servir de porta-estandarte da democratização e do desenvolvimento socioeconômico da nossa região. Ao aderirmos à visão do Fórum, precisamos também de servir de ator positivo na arena regional e internacional, continuando a promover o multilateralismo como único instrumento para os povos coletivamente enfrentarem os múltiplos desafios do mundo contemporâneo. Excelências, distintos deputados, esta magna Assembleia decorre num momento em que o mundo em geral e a nossa região em particular enfrentam os efeitos da pandemia da Covid-19. As Nações Unidas, através da Organização Mundial de Saúde, organizações regionais e países individualmente, continuam a empreender esforços visando o combate a esta pandemia e a mitigação dos seus efeitos negativos. Apesar dos esforços empreendidos, a pandemia continua a semear luto e dor, continua a criar incerteza nos mercados internacionais, a provocar o fecho de empresas, a aumentar o desemprego, para além de criar constrangimentos na circulação de pessoas, provocando efeitos negativos nas trocas comerciais entre os países da região, afetando assim as nossas economias. Para fazer face aos desafios impostos pela pandemia, o Fórum Parlamentar da SADC tem vindo a potenciar o uso das tecnologias de informação e comunicação, o que tem permitido a realização de várias reuniões estatutárias. Exemplo disso é o que está a acontecer hoje. A utilização de uma plataforma apropriada das tecnologias de informação e comunicação para interagir virtualmente, à semelhança do que ocorre com outras organizações internacionais e regionais que têm estado a adotar a realização de reuniões online. Ainda no quadro dos esforços de combate à pandemia, o Fórum tomou a iniciativa de elaborar as diretrizes do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC, visando apoiar os parlamentos nacionais no combate e prevenção à Covid-19. A realização desta 47ª Assembleia Plenária tem, portanto, um forte simbolismo, pois demonstra que o Fórum é uma organização resiliente que pode superar desafios e adversidades como resultado do espírito de unidade e solidariedade interparlamentar dos seus membros. A nossa região deve continuar a trabalhar com vista a delinear estratégias concentradas, buscando soluções para o combate à pandemia e para a recuperação pós-pandemia. Excelências, distintos deputados, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, a agenda política parlamentar do Fórum continua a estar no centro das nossas atenções, pois é nosso desidrato dar maior visibilidade às ações da organização, não só na região, como também no continente e no mundo. Na reunião realizada em março do corrente ano, a Comissão Executiva adotou o documento estratégico de lobby que tem orientado os parlamentos nacionais nas suas iniciativas de advocacia para a transformação do Fórum em Parlamento Regional, demonstrando que a transformação continua no topo da nossa agenda. Este documento tem igualmente guiado a atuação do Secretariado do Fórum no trabalho que está a realizar com o Secretariado Executivo da SADC, visando o desenho do modelo e do roteiro do proposto Parlamento, em cumprimento da deliberação da 39ª Cimeira de Chefe de Estado e do Governo da SADC. A proposta de transformação visa reforçar a interação entre o proposto Parlamento e outros órgãos da SADC, consolidando deste modo o processo de integração regional, bem como promover as instituições democráticas para a excelência parlamentar em toda a região. É a nossa expectativa que a 41ª Cimeira da SADC considere favoravelmente a nossa proposta de transformação do Fórum em Parlamento Regional, pois irá permitir que a arquitetura parlamentar regional de África, alicerce do Parlamento Pan-Africano, esteja completo. Sentimos-nos encorajados com a presença dos representantes do Parlamento Pan-Africano e dos Parlamentos Regionais da Assembleia Legislativa da África Oriental e do Parlamento da Comunidade Econômica dos Estados da África Ocidental, o que constitui uma expressão inequívoca da sua solidariedade para com este fórum. Excelências, o fórum prossegue com a elaboração de leis modelo de acordo com o seu plano estratégico para o período 2019-2023. Neste momento, o fórum está a elaborar, em colaboração com parceiros de desenvolvimento, 3 leis modelo, designadamente a Lei Modelo da SADC sobre Violência Baseada no Gênero, a Lei Modelo da SADC sobre Gestão das Finanças Públicas e a Lei Modelo da SADC sobre a Economia Digital. As leis em elaboração são instrumentos relevantes para a situação do novo normal que vivemos. A economia digital tomou um novo rumo, com mais transações a ocorrerem online. As finanças públicas estão sobrecarregadas devido à maior demanda dos sistemas de saúde e a violência baseada no género está a agravar-se como consequência do confinamento por causa da pandemia. Importa igualmente referir que o Fórum tem vindo a reforçar a dinâmica para o estabelecimento de uma área de comércio livre continental africana. Neste sentido, o Comitê Permanente do Comércio, Finanças, Investimentos e Infraestruturas do Fórum continuará a avançar com a sua agenda, tendo em vista o aumento das trocas comerciais na região da SADC. Caro convidado de honra, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, comendo o conhecimento de vossas excelências, a presidência bienal do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC por parte de Moçambique aproxima-se do fim. Moçambique está grato pelo apoio que tem recebido de todos os Estados-membros na condução dos trabalhos da nossa organização. Neste contexto, seria recomendável que, ao sairmos desta Assembleia Plenária, tenhamos uma informação do país que irá assumir a presidência do Fórum Parlamentar. Antes de terminar a minha intervenção, permitam-me, excelências, que em nome dos deputados do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC e em meu nome pessoal, desejo sucessos à República das Seychelles e à República Unida da Tanzânia, que brevemente irão realizar eleições, processos estes que visam o aprofundamento da democracia representativa e do Estado de Direito. A terminar, desejo aos deputados do Fórum Parlamentar da SADC deliberações frutuosas e uma excelente sessão. Muito obrigada. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
The Katrina House Siku Cultural Group was named after its founder and formed to remind Kavango children born in Tsumeb about their Kavango cultures, history, and language. The blue hair and smart dresses is a way of enhancing natural beauty, and they sing about the journeys taken by their parents from the Kavango to Tsumeb looking for work. Tomakwib is a Nama word meaning rock or mountain. The dancing is centered around love and bonding and choreographed in such a way that it appears as a game or play of love. Petrina Hainguru Cultural Group was named after a member of parliament as a way to honor her as a person representing the Rukwangali tribe on national level. The reeds create rhythm, and the beaded hair creates beauty and attractiveness. This group formed in a culturally diverse Tsumeb to entertain and inform people about the Rukwangali river culture. The Levy Muashikele Cultural Group was named after a resident freedom fighter who passed away after Namibia's independence. This group consists of diverse Oshiwamba tribes from all over the north and sings songs from various villages to represent unity of cultures. The dancing allows them to be proud of their ancestry and to recognize and celebrate their place in the modern world. The Onankali Mahangu Papermaking Cooperative is a community-based initiative that uses stalks and leaves of the Mahangu crop mixed with recycled paper to make various paper products. The name Tsumeb comes from the word Tomsub in Heikum and means to dig in loose ground. It refers to a green hill of rich copper ore deposits that they mined and bartered with Oshiwambo traders.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to call upon the Speaker of the National Assembly of Namibia, Honorable Professor Peter Kashavivi, to introduce the guest of honor.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, Ms. Yapoka Mungandi, Honorable Speaker Esperancia Lorinda Francisco Niwane Diaz, SADC Parliamentary Forum President and Speaker of the National Assembly of Mozambique, Honorable Senator Isaac Mangagula, our SADC Parliamentary Forum Vice President, Speakers of SADC National Parliaments and Head of Delegations, SADC Executive Secretary, Dr. Stengomena Lawrence Tax, Ms. Buema Sekoma, SADC Parliamentary Forum Secretary General, Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Sharumbira, Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Martin Gonga, Speaker of the East African Legislature, Honorable Saidi Mohamed Tunis, Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Anna Marie Biranbangu, Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I greet you all from the city of Windhoek, the headquarters of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. My assignment this morning is to introduce to you our guest of honor. The person I'm going to introduce is not a stranger to the business of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. He was in our midst at the official opening ceremony of the 46th SADC Parliamentary Plenary Assembly held in Swakopmund from the 10th to the 11th of December 2019. This person is well known in Namibia, in the SADC member states, Africa, and the world far afield from us. He is an educationalist by profession and was part of the team of dedicated cadres that played an important role in shaping our system of education and helped many Namibians in exile, preparing them to take charge of the administration of their country once we get our independence. Soon after the attainment of our independence, he became the first secretary to the cabinet, serving under the current president when the later was the prime minister, our founding prime minister. After many years of heading different government ministries, they are now back together as the former prime minister, now our third president, and our guest of honor as the vice president of the republic. Indeed, history can tell that they have come a long way together. Prior to his appointment in 2018 as the vice president, Dr. Angolan Bumba served in various ministerial positions, among others, Minister of Finance, Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Minister of Education, Minister of Safety and Security. On the party level, he served as a Deputy Secretary General and later as a Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, and is now a long-standing member of the SWAPO Party, still serving in key party structures. He is also the Chancellor of the University of Namibia since 2018. As we are in the process of lobbying for the transformation of the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional parliament, we shall continue to knock on the Vice President's door, requesting assistance from him and his cabinet colleagues to make this transformation a reality in our lifetime. We spare no one in our member countries, right from the presidents, vice presidents, ministers, and of course, our dear sister, Dr. Tax, and many others in the leadership position within our various member countries. And we will continue to solicit their unwavering support on this road of transformation of the forum into a regional parliament. With that, Madam President, and colleagues, it is now my honor to invite His Excellency, Dr. Angolan Bumba, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, to address and officially open the 47th Plenary Assembly visual session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. And I have the honor to call on the Vice President to address us, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Kajavivi, for your kind words. And I want to tell other speakers that we are friends. That's why he had to say all those nice things about me. Mrs. Yapoka Ngandi, Director of Finance and Administration and our Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Speaker, Esperanza, Lorinda, Francisco, Nyewane, Biash, SADC PF President and Speaker of the Republic and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique, Honorable Senator Memo Magagula, the SADC PF Vice President, once again, Honorable Professor Peter Kajavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Namibia and host of the SADC PF 47th Plenary Assembly virtual session. Honorable speakers of SADC national parliaments and heads of delegation. Our beloved Stergomena Lawrence Tax, SADC Executive Secretary, Mrs. Boemo Segoma, SADC PF Secretary General, Honorable Senator Chief Fortune Charumbira, Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Martin Ngogag, Speaker of the East African Parliament, here ably represented by the person who spoke to us, Fatima, Honorable Sidi Mohamed Tunis, Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Anne-Marie Mbila Mbangu, Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, honorable members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. We are indeed meeting during extraordinary times when all our countries are grappling with the challenges and effects associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. With face-to-face interaction still not advisable as a measure to curb the pandemic, I wish to commend the SADC Parliamentary Forum for embracing the new norm by convening its meeting virtually. I bring you warm greetings from the land of the brave, in particular from His Excellency Dr. Hage G. Geingob, the President of the Republic of Namibia. As the world is frantically responding to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, this global pandemic health crisis continues to disrupt national economies and the livelihoods of our people. Madam President, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, almost at the very beginning, we have observed a minute of silence in remembrance of the more than 1 million people throughout the world who have lost their lives to this global pandemic. I'm grateful that we have done so. My prayers and thoughts also go out to all those who are battling this disease, as well as recovering from it. I wish them all speedy and complete recovery. I further take this opportunity to salute all SADC member states for their sterling efforts to contain the spread of this disease. Indeed, it could have been worse had we not acted swiftly and collectively. In the same vein, I would like to thank all our frontline staff, the real heroes and heroines of the pandemic, who have and are right now battling the novel coronavirus disease. They have and are putting themselves in the path of the virus in SADC, in Africa, and around the world in order to curb the spread of this unprecedented virus. Our doctors, our nurses, our pharmacists, the technicians, the transporters, and everyone who supports patient care have risen to the occasion and are caring for our most vulnerable population. They deserve our remarkable appreciation. We simply cannot thank you enough. You are risking your lives in protecting the lives of fellow citizens. Moreover, allow me also to applaud all our SADC citizens for being patient and for understanding the different encounters which prompted member states to impose a raft of sometimes social, economically painful, but necessary measures in order to uphold and preserve health and safety protocol, such as quarantines and self-isolation, restrictions on travel and closure of borders, and interruptions of trade and businesses. Madam President, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that COVID-19 pandemic is a wake-up call to all of us in government, in parliament, and all of us as citizens all over the world. In the rude rush to respond to the novel pandemic, in some instances, the responses were knee-jerk and suffered from experimentation. To this ongoing pandemic is a clear illustration of the unexpected crises that can happen and can even reoccur. Therefore, the onus is on us all to always anticipate and plan to prevent where possible, and more importantly, to develop coordinated responses in addressing disaster risk management. I thus find the theme of the fourth, seventh Plenary Assembly session, and I quote, "The role of parliaments in strengthening accountability during pandemic, the case of COVID-19, very apt and timely." It has been a little over 6 months since SADC member states began introducing different measures to respond to the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, this Plenary Assembly virtual session is a welcome opportunity for SADC member parliaments and stakeholders to engage in frank discussions on the impact and consequences this disease has on our region. It offers us also an opportunity to reflect on national and regional responses in order to better prepare and to ensure that we best curb COVID-19. This pandemic has taught us many lessons, some painful and others serving as warranted eye-openers. We have learned how a pandemic can severely impact any national economy. It has become apparent that countries which heavily rely on imported goods and services can be extremely affected by closure of borders during a pandemic like COVID-19. Moreover, this pandemic has also resulted in massive job losses for our citizens. We have also seen how the disruption of supply chains have resulted in food insecurity, increases in levels of poverty, and in some cases, civil strifes in our region. Overall, this COVID-19 pandemic has rendered some citizens more vulnerable and having only to rely on social safety net interventions. In view of the foregoing, parliaments have a responsibility to ensure that our local institutions, regardless of whether they are private or public, are fully supported to make their host countries self-sufficient. The location and regionalization of supply chains should become a priority for all our countries. The transboundary nature of pandemics such as COVID-19 makes it imperative for us as SADC member states to strengthen harmonization of our national borders. This will enable us to collectively contain disasters while at the same time facilitating the unhindered movement of essential goods, services, and naturally, the movement of our citizens. We need to keep on strengthening our efforts towards a coordinated and harmonized regional approach in testing, tracing, treating, and procuring of drugs, as well as participating in ongoing global efforts to develop vaccines and other medicines. Madam President, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, given the complexity of the COVID-19 novel coronavirus, there is a lot about it that we do not know. We therefore need to invest in research, development, and testing for COVID-19 and other communicable diseases. And parliaments must ensure that these efforts are sufficiently funded, both at national and regional levels. Public trust can very quickly be eroded if inaccurate information is sent out. With the era of social media upon us, fake news has been circulating during this pandemic. This included unscientific claims on how we can prevent or cure COVID-19. Parliaments, therefore, have an obligation to discuss how they can best support the dissemination of factual and timely information and how people can and should access such vital information. I am glad that the 47th Plenary Assembly virtual session will be updated, at least that was my hope, on the status of the COVID-19 by the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. I am also reliably informed that national parliaments are going to share their experiences on how they are dealing with the pandemic. This spirit of Ubuntu is highly appreciated and will ensure that we share and learn from each other in our quest to overcome COVID-19 as SADC and the African continent at large. I wish to commend the SADC PF for the sterling work it has been doing in promoting democracy and governance amongst the SADC member states. It will be recalled that the SADC summit on September 8th, 1997 in Blantyre, Malawi, was instrumental in establishing the SADC Parliamentary Forum with the aim to ultimately transform it into a regional parliament. We have seen SADC PF developing model laws on critical issues such as the eradication of child marriages, democratic elections, and gender-based violence. Such model laws serve as useful guides in promoting the harmonization of legal frameworks and facilitating introduction of international instruments in our member state. It is therefore befitting that we are meeting at a time when the SADC Summit of Heads of Government and State have resolved to transform the SADC PF to become the SADC Parliament and have assigned 2 secretariats to undertake further work on the model and the roadmap for SADC Parliament. I wish to repeat that Namibia's head of state, His Excellency Dr. Hakainde Geingob, said regarding the SADC Parliament in August 2018 on the occasion on the 38th SADC Summit as the chairperson then, and I quote, "We believe that the SADC Parliament will not only help but address the governance structure, the governance architecture of the region, but will also be a key driver of our integration and developmental efforts," end of quote. Equally, President Cyril Ramaphosa of the Republic of South Africa reiterated the importance of establishing the SADC Parliament during the same 38th SADC Summit. And he said, and I quote, "Parliamentary democracy is at the center of our SADC collective mission to give expression to the will of the people," end of quote. The establishment of the SADC Parliament is therefore vital, as it will not only bridge the gap between the citizens and the regional integration processes, but will also complete the governance architecture of SADC. It will further provide a vital platform for the citizens directly and through their elected representatives to give inputs into SADC integration agenda. I commend the SADC PF for starting this process, this discussion on how best to respond to SADC, to COVID-19. We need more follow-up sessions to develop strategies for responding to this pandemic and future challenges, doing so collectively. An emergency like COVID-19 can also be a driver for misuse of resources. and even may lead to corruption. Parliaments must put in place mechanisms for monitoring, evaluation, and auditing resources that have been secured towards supporting responses to this pandemic. Now, more than ever, the collective efforts of SADC-PF is needed to spearhead model laws that will bring about the reversal of the economic disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Fast-track regional integration while ensuring that we uphold the democratic governance principle we all subscribe to. With these many words, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare the 47th Plenary Assembly virtual session officially open, and I wish you all fruitful deliberations, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Please allow me to now call upon the Vice President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Honorable Senator Isaac Memo Magagula, to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, Dr. Nangola Bumba, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Speaker Esperanza Lorinda Francisco Nyuane Biash, SADC-PF President and Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Mozambique, Host Speaker, Honorable Professor Kachavivi, the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of Namibia, and host of the 47th Plenary Assembly virtual session. Venerable speakers of SADC national parliaments and heads of delegations, Your Excellency, SADC Executive Secretary, Dr. Steregumena Lawrence Tex, esteemed SADC Parliamentary Secretary General, Ms. Poema Sekoma, Honorable Aini Mari Bilambangu, Regional Women's Parliament, members of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, distinguished delegates, invited observers, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I feel humbled and very much privileged to have been accorded the opportunity to propose and offer the vote of thanks at this occasion, marking the historical first visual plenary assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, which is being attended by participants well over 200, including SADC citizens. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, otherwise known by her moniker name as the Land of the Brave, do allow me as a prelude to the task assigned to me to briefly outline my philosophy and motto when I'm afforded the rare privilege to be on the podium. I always aspire to inspire before I expire. And ceteris paribus, I do not wish to be a blabbermouth and abuse the honor bestowed on me by the institution I am representing at this occasion. Accordingly, and on behalf of SADC Parliamentary Forum, and indeed on my behalf, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Angolan Bumba, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, for taking off time his busy schedule to grace and officially open our 47th Plenary Assembly session. It suffices to point out, Your Excellency, that Your Excellency's presence has not only made us feel humbled, but has added luster and gravitas to this important event in the forum's calendar of activities. Your Excellency, it is good to have you once more officiating at our forum's activity. Your speech, setting the tone for this session, has been thought-provoking, inspiring, and captivating. Honorable guest of honor, allow me to take this august assembly down memory lane to the 46th Plenary Assembly, which took place in Swakopmund, Namibia in December 2019. We vividly recall your words of wisdom when you implored us to ensure that elections do not become an end in themselves, but must become a means to uplift the socio-economic conditions of those who put us in office. You also, during the same occasion, urged us to be relentless in pursuit of the universal health coverage, UHC for short, agenda to bring about sustainable human and social development in the SADC region, particularly access to equitable, affordable, and quality-oriented healthcare services. We were encouraged by your message of support on behalf of the government of Namibia in the efforts to transform the forum into a regional parliament. Indeed, our host speaker, Honorable Professor Peter Kajavivi, continues to closely liaise with other speakers of national assemblies to lobby for a SADC regional parliament. I'm pleased to inform you, Your Excellency, that we took your wise counsel to heart and continue to use your words as beacons in our work. We want to assure you, Your Excellency, that we draw inspiration from your assured support, and we shall not tire in our pursuit of the transformation agenda regardless of the obstacles. We do remain committed to the transformation agenda, which, as you have rightly pointed out, Your Excellency, is in consonant with the Heads of State and Government Summit Treaty of 1997. To this end, Your Honor, we count on your continued rallying behind us. It would be remiss of me not to take this opportunity to salute the government of the Republic of Namibia for responding to the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic in a manner that has been roundly admired at home and elsewhere in the globe. Indeed, there are priceless lessons to be learned from Namibia's response to this devastating malady, a response which has kept the casualties of this deadly pandemic at the barest minimum in comparative terms. Namibia's response to COVID-19 has even drawn praise from the regional director of the World Health Organization and the global publications who have rightly hailed it as best practice. To this feat, congratulations are therefore in order to the government and the people of Namibia. On this note, it is also apposite to thank the World Health Organization Director General for sharing with us through an audio recorded address on the topical subject of the pandemic. If wishes were horses, Your Excellency, we would have been blessed to have him engaging with us during the session, in particular on day 3 of the session. It seems to us that Namibia has very effectively used data and science to ensure that her decisions and responses to the pandemic are evidence-informed and decentralized communities. It is noted with admiration that Namibia has managed to adapt lessons learned in responding to HIV and AIDS to tackling COVID-19. Indeed, there has been repurposing of existing HIV and AIDS tools and architecture to fight COVID-19. Guards of honor, as we are meeting virtually for the first time in the history of SADC PF, allow me to express our gratitude to national parliaments that have supported the participation of their members during these extraordinary circumstances. In the same vein, I wish to thank the General Secretary, Ms. Boemo Sekoma, and her dedicated team of secretariat staff for facilitating this online plenary assembly. Same sentiments and comments, Your Excellency, go to Her Excellency, Dr. Stegomania Lawrence Tex from SADC Secretariat, always being there for us in various collaborative frameworks, and her presence at this occasion is much appreciated. And so are her insightful and informative resume on the growth and development in SADC in socio-economic political perspectives. We have been educated where we come from as SADC and where we are, where we might be. And thank you to Dr. Tex for that. I am glad that, Your Excellency, COVID-19 has not hindered our work, but has indeed tested our ability to work through a pandemic and come out stronger. In the hindsight, that formidable problems and challenges also provide opportunities to develop and think outside the box. They serve as a clarion call to wake up from our comfort zone. Thank you so much for listening. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, in order to mark the end of our official opening program, I wish to request that we rise for the following anthems: the Anthem of the Southern African Development Community, the Anthem of the African Union, and the National Anthem of the Republic of Namibia. Thank you.
Sonnet, sonnet, dawn of uncertainty. Sonnet, sonnet, dawn of a better future, and hope for regional and universal integration towards unity and all harmony. Let us praise with joy the realization of our hopes and raise the banner of solidarity. Sonnet, 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 dawn of uncertainty. To rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa a tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and toil together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind, the font of culture, our pride and hope at break of dawn. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life.
Thank you and have a blessed day. The host, please terminate